Well, I am finally starting to understand now. Thanks to the unbelievable, brilliant mind of the prepubescent boy, my feeble brain is finally starting to get it. I'm finally starting to understand who is to blame for the huge, embarrassing failure that we saw at the World Cup. It's not the professional activists themselves. It's not their fault that they were celebrating failure when they tied against the Netherlands. It's not their fault that the vast majority of Americans viewed them as divisive and anti-American. No. How could we blame them? How could we blame these damsels in distress? Yesterday, after a 2-week investigation, Private Dick Meg Rapinoe revealed who was actually to blame for the U.S. women's team being a huge embarrassing failure. Now, before I started seeing my girlfriend a couple of years ago, I had not been around teenagers. Well, I hadn't been around teenagers since I was one myself. Teenagers are a special breed. You really forget how special teenagers are until you're around them as an adult. We're extremely lucky. My girlfriend's daughter is a great kid. She makes good grades. She's very active in sports and after school activities. She stays busy. But as great of a kid as she is, that does not change the fact that she is still a teenager. One thing that I have noticed about teenagers, and I was the same way when I was that age too, nothing's ever their fault. They've got a way of bending the truth. For example, how'd you do on that test on Wednesday? Oh, I did good. I only missed 2 questions. Yeah, that's true. Only 2 questions were missed out of 3, so you failed. Why did you lie? Well, I didn't lie. I told the truth. You didn't ask me how many questions were on the test. Yeah, nice try. Admirable effort on that lie. Now, I expect that type of behavior from a teenager. I expect a teenager to blame anyone but themselves for their own mistakes, for their own failures. I expect them to have a complete lack of self-awareness. I mean, it's impossible to have self-awareness when you don't know who you are. 14, 15 years old, you don't have enough life experience to know who you are. You're still trying to figure all that out. But when it comes to a woman my age, when it comes to a woman that is 38 years old, I expect you to act like an adult. Unfortunately, adult behavior, that is not something we can expect from Megan Rapinoe. I guess we shouldn't be all that surprised. I mean, the prepubescent boy dresses like a teenager. Why shouldn't we expect her to act like one too? Yesterday, The Atlantic, they published an interview with Megan Rapinoe. Since being embarrassed in front of the entire world at the World Cup, the Megster went through a period of hibernation. The Sue bird, she was busy maintaining the nest. The bird was collecting nuts for the winter. She was feeding worms to their daughter, Tweety. All the while, Meg, she's laying around the nest, cucumber in hand, sleeping off the hangover of embarrassment. She finally emerged, though, yesterday for an exclusive interview with The Atlantic. Meg was dressed for the occasion in her usual attire. Well, Casey, was she wearing a brightly colored dress? The only bright color was the hair on her head. Meg was probably dressed in a suit and tie. My inside sources tell me she was angling to make the cover of GQ. One of the first questions asked by The Atlantic to the Megster was about the legitimate criticism this team received while they were pretending to play soccer at the World Cup. Analysts like Alexi, Lalas, Carli, Lloyd, they were speaking for most Americans with their constant criticisms of these political activists. The Megster, she did not appreciate the criticism. Matter of fact, Megan Rapinoe claimed that all of this criticism was fake. Fake? Fake? The only thing fake that I see is the color of your hair. I know we are living in the era where men can get pregnant and teenagers have gray hair, but I have yet to see the birthing person who has the ability to grow naturally blue hair or purple hair. The criticism from Carli Lloyd, it was anything but fake. It was real. It was authentic. Carli Lloyd accused this team of being selfish. She claimed they played as individuals instead of playing as a team. She claimed that this group of activists lacked motivation, that they were entitled. Alexi Lalas said the team was divisive. He claimed that many Americans were refusing to support the Rapinoes because of their constant disrespect of our country. That doesn't sound fake to me. Doesn't sound like propaganda. I would call that fact-based reporting, something that is increasingly rare throughout the mainstream media. The Mexter then blamed half the country for spreading divisiveness and hatred on social media about this group of entitled activists. All of these right-wingers, they've been waiting for me to stumble and fail. They are constantly spreading hatred about me. These people don't understand that I am someone to be worshipped. I am Megan Rapinoe. I happen to partially agree here with Megan Rapinoe. She's right. Millions of people have been waiting for her to stumble. Millions of people have been waiting for her to fulfill her legacy as a huge embarrassing failure. But these were not all right-wingers. I don't classify myself as a right-winger. I damn sure don't consider myself to be a shitfuck. I think most of us have a strong disdain for both sides of the political spectrum. It was not just the far right who was waiting for Megan Rapinoe and this team to fail. It was normal people. It was people who got tired of watching a group of women representing America shitting all over America. There is a complete lack of self-awareness here with Megan Rapinoe. If I came on here every day and I insulted you guys, if I came on here every day and accused you guys of mythical racism, if I accused you of misogyny because you refused to watch the WNBA dump, if I told you guys every day that America was systemically racist, if I constantly said all those things, would you show up here every day like you guys do and support me? No. This channel would be dead. So I'm struggling to understand why Megan Rapinoe thought she would be supported. You think people are going to support you because you temporarily removed your BLM jersey and put on the red, white, and blue? You think people are going to respect and support you because you're pretending to represent America? It doesn't work that way. Respect and support, that has to be earned. But the delusion gets even grander because once again, Megan Rapinoe accuses you of mythical misogyny. These right-wingers want you to believe that women can't be great. They don't want to see a strong woman succeed. I have seen more pictures of Megan Rapinoe than I care to admit. Not one time have I ever thought to myself, that looks just like a strong woman. She then compared herself She then compares herself to Beyonce and Taylor Swift. What do Megan Rapinoe, Beyonce, and Taylor Swift have in common? Other than the fact that they all contribute to the mythical demise of the planet with their constant use of private jets, they have absolutely nothing in common. Beyonce and Taylor Swift, they have actual talent. Megan Rapinoe, none. The Mexter then told The Atlantic, "We're not only great on the field, we are also fighting for equality. The business of equality is great for our bottom line." Really? Really? First of all, you were not great on the field. All I remember seeing at the World Cup was huge embarrassing failure. Now, although equality might be good business for Megan Rapinoe personally, equality is the reason she became a millionaire. Before equality, Megan the Sue Bird, they were living in a one-bedroom nest. Thanks to equality, their nest now occupies the entire oak tree. Although it's good for her personally, equality has proven to be detrimental to the leagues that embrace it. How is equality working out for the dump divers in the WNBA? How is equality working out for the NWSL? What about the NBA? Remember when the NBA embraced mythical racism and equality during the summer of 2020? How'd that work out? Record low ratings for the NBA Finals, and the league has never fully recovered. The Mexter then explained to The Atlantic the one thing that America's great at. Americans are really good at promoting backlash. We see it constantly with the outrage against transgender involvement in sports. There is a huge backlash right now against women in America. First of all, I wasn't aware that Megan Rapinoe was capable of defining a woman. How could you claim there is a backlash against women when you lack the ability to identify a woman? According to the Mexter, Rob with the hard knob, that's a woman. Griselda with the greased propeller, that's a woman. Bearded Chloe, woman. This comment actually proves that Megan Rapinoe is nothing but a hypocrite. There's actually a war right now against women, but it's not being fought by normal people. The war against women is being pushed by Megan Rapinoe and Woke United Methodist. This is the same woman who advocates for transgender involvement in sports. This is the same woman who advocates for the demise of women, yet she wants to tell the media that you're the misogynist, you're the one against women. This woman is an absolute cancer. It is obvious that Megan Rapinoe spent a lot of time reading the woke Bible. She has been bathing herself in the good word. Because one of the tactics that's taught in the woke Bible, you accuse your detractors of things that you're actually doing yourself. Megan Rapinoe, one of the leaders in this war against women, so she accuses us of hating women. The reason Megan Rapinoe is speaking out against Alexi, Lalas, and Carli Lloyd, the reason she is blaming normal people for her own huge embarrassing failure, Megan Rapinoe knows we are right. Instead of taking personal responsibility, the Mexter, she wants to deflect all the blame. It's not her fault that she's a huge embarrassing failure. It's your fault. It's not her fault that America refused to support her in the World Cup. It's your fault. It's not her fault that this team lacked motivation and leadership. It's your fault. When they were eliminated 2 weeks ago and Megan Rapinoe officially retired from pretending to play soccer, I told you guys that she was just getting started. I told you she was not going away. Did you guys happen to notice when this team of activists was constantly in media headlines, Megan Rapinoe was silent? Did you notice that? As soon as the attention disappeared, as soon as the mainstream media started focusing on something else, Megan Rapinoe does an interview with The Atlantic to bring all the attention back on herself. She knew exactly what she was doing here. She knew the comments that she made would generate headlines and outrage. Megan Rapinoe does not care about the U.S. women's soccer team. She only cares about herself. And don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. This cancer is not going into remission because Megan Rapinoe retired. Unfortunately, the Mexter is just getting started. But give me your thoughts. Megan Rapinoe blaming everyone else for her huge embarrassing failure. She accuses you of waging a war against women when she's the one that's participating in it. Let me know what you think here. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.